You have reached the voice mailbox of
The Beards and Sundries Market.
The voicemail box is currently
Empty.
To reach our loyal and devoted team members, please make sure to leave a message for a chance to hear your voice captured on the internet until the end of all time. Thank you,
Beardo.
and have the day you deserve.
And welcome back.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to Season 3, Episode 4 of Beards and Sundries.
4 as in 405-999-2242.
Yes, please call.
That's right, guys. We're here for another lunch break at Beards and Sundries, the shop where three gay men with beards do inventory on a new sundry item in each episode.
My name is Jay, and I wouldn't remember the day of the week if it weren't for my massive pill divider.
It is helpful.
Huge.
It's huge. Bigger than China.
God. Shut the fuck up. And I'm Anthony, and I have to take lisinopril, Lexapro, and Wellbutrin XL.
Oh, wow.
Big.
It's a suppository.
And I'm Joe, and have you just tried not being sad?
Thanks, Mom.
And today's sundry item is mental health. That's right, Beardos. Today, we are tackling a subject that some people still find awkward or hard to talk about. We have a podcast, so we're going to do just that. Today, we hope you could take away something useful, share something with a friend, or maybe even have a chuckle or two. Later on, Jay has a quiz for us that should explain all of our problems, right? But before we get too far into it, how about this week's voicemail?
Yeah, how about it?
Yeah.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
You know, Beardos, we don't ask a lot of you, honestly. And I'm not really that mad. I'm just kind of disappointed. So it's hurting my mental health to not have a voicemail from any of you this week.
It gives me the big sads.
You know, we don't tell you this because we don't like you. We tell you this because we love you.
That's right. Or something.
Also, the Tooth Fairy's fake.
Santa Claus isn't real. We're really tired of faking it.
What?
And the BS bucks are worth nothing.
Oh.
Hey, that's BS.
So anyways, don't forget to call next week. We would love to have another voicemail.
That's right.
That number, just in case you forgot.
405-999-2242.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great phone number. I really like it. You guys should try dialing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super easy to dial.
So easy.
Look, I'm doing
so
it now.
Healthy,
Beep,
too.
boop, 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 boop. Off camera, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, wait. Here. Here, you guys see? Let's see. You go to your phone, and then you unlock your phone. Then you tap on phone. You'll have this screen right here.
What is that,
So
Joe?
then you type 4, and then 0, and then 5. Are you still with me?
I
Then
am.
it's 999, just like in the UK if you had an emergency. Then, here's where it gets a little squirrely. Then you do 224, and then 2. You should see this. And look, it even says Beards and Sundries. Right
now,
there.
if you're calling internationally, the rules are entirely different, and we're not going to tell you about them.
And I'm
If you want to call internationally, give me a shout out.
See? No one's even answering. Jay's
You know
not
what,
even
you-
reacting.
You could leave a voicemail,
Oh, I could.
and then we'll put it in the episode.
And we would love to play it online, or if this is business related, we'll get back to you.
Business related. How proactive of me.
I know.
Please record your message.
forward
When
thinking,
you finish
Jay.
recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Beards and Sundries Market is the best market ever created. It's totally real, and they have lots and lots of Wellbutrin. Bye! And then I hung up, and I look at that. I left a voicemail. See,
Wow.
even I can do it.
I'm going to go check the phone and see if there's a voicemail on it since we started talking.
We don't have time for that. You guys played too much Xbox before we did this.
Hey,
What?
it's for my mental health.
Yeah. I have to
Do
beat
what
hookers
I
to
do
get...
and just have a little minty bee and just cry it out in a corner somewhere and then do some drugs about it and go back to work.
See, and so I do the same thing, but I get onto a fake game online, steal a hooker, and shoot Joe numerous times.
You
Yeah, I
steal
heard
a
him dying
hooker?
in there.
Kill a hooker. Steal a hooker. Whatever I do with hookers on that game, I don't know.
Same thing you do in real life.
I could steal
I
a
don't-
hookah?
I don't know what I'm doing with hookers anyways. She gets in my car and I'm like, would you like some gum? Do you want to talk about ball peen hammers?
With your all new ball peen hammer.
Oh my god, ask me where to find Sundries, Anthony.
Oh my.
I'm going to take you to
God.
Shanae's Ragtime Saloon and play a piano museum.
That sounds irrational.
Well, Joe, can I find all of my coping mechanisms in the sundries aisle?
Is wine a coping mechanism?
That's where Jay seems to look for them.
Yes.
Yes.
That's where Jay goes looking for them, that's for sure. But if you guys are new and you're wondering just what the hell a sundry is, the term comes from an Old English word meaning odds and ends. Today it's used mainly in retail to group together items that don't have a group of their own. So, as three very mental gay men with beards, we are using the term to group together the wide range of topics that we cover.
Wow. I didn't need
That's
medication to hear that.
Yeah, but you needed
But
to
it
listen.
helped.
You're right. I do needed to listen. How do you think we got this episode?
That's true. God, I'm actually interested to see if you, if I catch you just like checking out during episodes anymore.
Well, I wasn't so bad last week.
I know. That's one episode out of how many?
Yeah, but I'd started the medication before last week's recording.
It's not so much the stare as much as just like, I'll be like, look over and Chase just
Business.
not business. He's
Fine.
like, I just got to help my friend with this tech question.
And then after that, I'll like open up the message and I'll text my boyfriend, "What are you doing? Recording's almost over. You're so cute."
WID, LMAO.
IDK, my BFF Jill.
I'm shooting a text to Darkwing Duck.
Ooh. You up?
That's weird. Ted Cheerios just texted me.
Hey. You up?
Said, you up?
I don't.
Not anymore.
I still love that video. Ted, were you in fact up? And you're like, no comment. Joe's like, you're right here. You can't say that. And you're like, no comment.
I was just like, Ted Cheerios could not be reached at this time.
Yes. Yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah. God, that was so much
That was
fun.
such a
Maybe
stupid
we'll do
episode, and I loved it.
a recreation of that this year.
Do we have an election coming up?
I don't know. There's always something happening.
Oh my gosh. A little over a year from now, though, we'll have 2024 presidential election. Jesus Christ, these things are flying by.
Speaking
know.
of mental health,
Jesus Christ. You want to ruin
Well-
your mental health? Keep up with the news.
Keep
it's
up
interesting
watching
that
the
you
news.
mention the news, Jay, because that's kind of where I'd like to start. So there's this new, well, not so much new, but there's this ongoing trend that I'm certainly part of called doom scrolling. And it's where you fall into a rabbit hole unintentionally. You're scrolling through your phone and you are reading the news, or you're, starting to read terrible things because they just keep coming across. And honestly, I only have one news app on my phone, and it's the BBC News app because they're the only ones that I trust. And today, Wednesday, July 26th, today it was Sinead O'Connor dead. The water off the coast of Florida is reaching hot tub levels. There's terrible fires in the Mediterranean, and there was something else. Something about Ron
UFOs.
DeSantis. Oh, yeah, the UFOs.
And then also, if you checked later on, it was about Mitch McConnell suddenly just not talking
Freezing
up on the
on
podium.
camera. Yeah.
I honestly, that made me so happy and sad at the same time, just knowing that like he's still in Congress, but like that was fun.
Term limits need to become a thing.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you're like, this 80-some-year-old man is who helps make decisions for our country.
It's basically like we have a fucking hospice is what our Senate is at this point.
When you no longer have a viable future, you shouldn't be deciding the future for everyone in the country.
There should be term limits just generally. I don't care if you're 30 something or 80 something, like,
Yep.
but also we really should have some sort of cognition tests, like actual like cognitive health tests that our elected officials have to take and maintain while they are in office. Because if you are not in good cognitive health, you shouldn't be making decisions for hundreds of thousands of millions of people.
Didn't Trump take one?
In secret. No, it should be public knowledge. And it should definitely be.
So, and the way it was presented was just like this random doctor comes out and he's like, this is the most stable man I've ever met in my entire life. And every time somebody would come out and do that, I'm like, there is a completely opposite direction to this story, which it usually end up being true. But
Yeah.
it's just, it should be a matter of public record and a matter of public, scrutiny at this point, because with the amount of decisions that actively impact my life and well-being that these people are making, I need to know that they are not up there with absolutely no cognitive function or very limited cognitive function. If you're going to be in charge of trillions of dollars in debt and so much of like the world's GDP, like fuck off if you think that that's unacceptable.
I don't know what pill I need for this right now, but one of them.
It's Wellbutrin for me and Lexapro. The Lexapro helps with the anxiety.
Technically, I have medical marijuana, so I can
And then I've
do
got
that.
the lisinopril for my blood pressure.
I just started
Oh.
taking biotin for my beard.
Oh,
And I've got the
nice.
prep for my butt.
Yep.
That's funny.
Prep.
I also have a beta blocker, but it's for slowing down my heart and blood pressure.
Oh, see, I don't have a beta blocker. I got on a beta blocker called, I think it was like clonidine or something like that my doctor prescribed to me to help me sleep at night and also lower my blood pressure. And my heart rate was getting into the mid 30s while I was sleeping.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I was like, I must run marathons.
I'm on one called Nebulavol, which is supposed to curb my drinking cravings. It doesn't work, but, I still take it.
It's one that builds up over time, and I've been taking it for 8 months. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have been drinking less, so good on you.
I have been. It's not from the Nebulavol. It's not from the Nebulavol, but I have been doing better.
Well, maybe it's the name. Maybe it's just like supposed to make you think you don't want it anymore.
Yeah, it's placebo.
Yeah.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's what I wondered about my ADHD medication I was just prescribed. I'm like, so is this just placebo? But then I was like, nah, the side effects on it are wonky enough that it's not placebo.
What kind of side effects?
Yeah, that's how I know the Lexapro is working.
So it's weird. I started taking Strattera because I finally went to a psychologist and was diagnosed with ADHD, which I've known I've had my entire life. But because of my doom scrolling on TikTok, I started realizing how many things I struggle with that relate to it. So I was like, fuck, I'm going to go to the doctor and see if it's like bad enough. So I did. And she's like, oh, yeah, you definitely have it. So I started the medication.
Thanks, Dr. TikTok.
Thanks, Dr. TikTok. And my side effects I've had some interesting ones. For a week, I would just bust out in a sweat at the idea of walking. So I would walk from my car into the office and I would just be wet.
That's just summer.
I'm not usually that bad.
Loosen bowels. Come on, loosen bowels.
Ironically, you say that, and it actually is giving me hesitation in urination.
Oh.
It's making it harder for us to get the free space?
Making it more difficult. But that one has been over time getting better. But for a while, I would be in the bathroom for 5 minutes because it would just be like trickling out. And so like people would cycle through in the bathroom while I'm just standing at the urinal, and I'd just be like, oh, you're number 3, as I'm just like...
You're like Ben Stiller's dad, the character he plays in Zoolander. Come on, just a little pee-pee.
Yes. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Kind of prostate the size of a melon.
Kayla, more jalapenos. It's not working yet.
Fuck that. Ghost peppers,
gosh.
Kayla. Ghost peppers.
Kayla, you could just also throw laxatives and things.
Just throw them in his open mouth.
As I talk, she's just like tossing them in.
Like Pez.
Yeah.
Speaking of Pez, I saw a TikTok where someone was they put their meds in a Pez dispenser to make it more fun.
I wish I could do that but none of them like would fit in there. I guess my Alexa Pro would fit in there.
And it's funny because they always do the audio where it's like, ooh, I'm mentally ill. It's like a Pez dispenser.
I think the TikTok I thought of when you said a Pez dispenser was when somebody took a Nerf gun, shot it when the guy came around the corner, and it just hit so perfectly that his mouth was like cracked open and it went.
Oh, God.
I saw that one yesterday.
I thought that was funny.
I saw one where last night. Sorry, this is a tangent. I saw one last night that I showed Anthony where this little girl was jumping on a trampoline and she landed wrong and her body folded in half.
Oh, it was rough.
And the comments were all like the new Samsung Galaxy Flip, and then and then someone commented, "This is how the Barbie dolls in the attic look in storage." I was laughing so hard that there were tears coming out of my eyes.
The comments on some of this shit's amazing.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
And I have been on TikTok once or twice as well.
You're still in the original algorithm of dancing like young people.
I wouldn't know. I don't get on there unless somebody sends me something.
Sorry. Okay.
Well.
But I mean, doom scrolling, honestly, it's so easy to fall prey to it because our phones are such a central part of our lives nowadays and then there's also the other side where you're afraid of missing out on something. So it's hard to find the right balance of how much time should I spend reading the news and how depressed do I want to get reading it?
Yeah.
And that's the thing is I've always wanted to be aware. I like to be updated so I don't feel ignorant if the subjects come up. But lately it's just the news is exhausting and I'd rather be happy. And I'm just like, there'll be days that news pops up on my TikTok and I'm like, nope, don't want it.
Yeah, today was one of those days where I pulled up, it was just the weather app was all it was. I wanted to see what the forecast was coming up in the next week and a half because I heard there was a cold front coming through.
Oh
which
my God, I hope
we're
so.
supposed to get to the mid to low 90s, so thank God.
Whoa.
Oh, break out the parka.
I mean, it won't be 100 and something, so that's nice.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, I will take it. But anyways, of course, I saw that, but then there was the 100-degree water in Florida. The fact that the coral reefs are bleaching 2 months earlier than they usually do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then the fact that we're experiencing the hottest heats, of course, we all know the hottest heats that we've experienced in several, whatever. We were experiencing historic heats, but there's also the chance that ocean currents could stop moving because of climate change. And on the weather app, it was the weather. I just wanted to know what the weather was going to be. And I got all of that information.
Did you, speaking of doom scrolling in the news, did you see that Rudy Giuliani is admitting that the Georgia election officials, he lied about it? And I was like, oh my God.
They're really going all in trying to cover everything up with these UFO stories today, huh?
Yeah, we had a whole day of news. It was a bad day.
It was exhausting.
Except for the UFO thing. That was kind of interesting.
I didn't even pay attention that much to it. I just heard that they're confident that, or we definitely have tracked down and
like we have both
UFOs
intact
and non-alien,
and not intact alien ships, and then possibly an alien body. But this is based off of the testimony of the people who were there today. Now, granted, it was like a former like Navy commander or something like that.
I read one small snippet that he claimed that objects would be standing still in hurricane force winds and then fly off at supersonic speeds. And that was interesting to read.
I saw something about saying that that humans on Earth have been harmed by knowing this information.
Well,
and then
I
he
guess we'll
dangled
find
the
out.
keys in front of the judge and they went, ah!
I just always, I don't know. And I feel like this is another symptom of mental health issues with our generation and future generations, is that I hear these things and in my brain, I'm just like, I guess even if it's completely true and it turns out to be 100% true, like that's not very exciting to me, because like, what the fuck does that mean for me? Even if it means that we have alien technology, all that translates to is that we're going to give alien technology to billionaires and let them manufacture billionaire alien technology that they're going to charge me out of my ass for, so that they can become even more billionaires, or they can become even more rich and I can become even more poor.
No, the government will take it and use it for war stuff like they always do.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean that billionaires won't make money off of it. War profiteering has been happening since 2001 here.
Oh, baby, it's been way before that.
Well, it's been way before that.
Ollie North.
Oh, God. But it's been happening at least since then actively in the U.S.
So that was another one of the reasons I wanted to go, is because I'm like, okay, so is this ADHD? Is this anxiety? Is this depression? Like, every one of them has symptoms that overlap. And so I'm like, I really need to figure something out in case it gets worse, because I struggled so bad of burnout, especially with work. And apparently this one medication helps a lot.
It's wild when you get on a medication that works, that just fucking works. When I got on Wellbutrin, she started me out on 150 milligrams per day. And then bumped me up to 300 milligrams per day, which I found out recently when we were on the way downtown to Pride, if you recall, Jay, is the maximum dosage, because our friend is also on it. And when she bumped me up to 300 milligrams, like a week and a half, 2 weeks in, I was like, holy shit. I can't believe I could walk around and not just feel complete apathy or abject sadness about everything.
For me, it's been weird to not have the constant swirling thoughts all the time. Because you would just sit there and be like, you couldn't focus on one task. So many tasks were going on in your brain. And then as I'm talking, I would self-doubt myself all the time. If anybody gave me a look of any questioning, if it looked like they were questioning what I was saying, I would suddenly self-doubt really bad, and I would stumble over my words, and I'd stumble over everything. And so this has helped all of that. I now have more motivation. Good. Yeah, I now have more motivation at my job. Like, of course, work is work, and I'm just like, meh, but I show up, and I'm just like, bam, 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 and I whack out.
Let's test it.
It's crazy.
Let's test it. Say something that you're fairly confident is true, and I'll give you a questioning look and see if you stumble.
Oh my God. Did you know that ice cubes actually shrink over time in the freezer? I don't remember the reason why, but it's still... Oh, now I'm stumbling because I can't think of what to say.
Oh, more pills.
I'm pretty
They
sure
shrink
it's
in the
because
freezer?
of what is that called? Sublimation.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah, you're welcome. You were 100% right. It's sublimation that causes that.
I was like, I forgot the word, but I know that happens. I actually remember telling that to somebody once, and she's like, that sounds stupid. And she started questioning me, and I ended up having to Google it and everything just to feel good about myself again.
Whoa.
Nope.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, God, Joe.
Joe, you can't say that right now. The Barbie movie's really hot.
Ben Shapiro says it's bad.
Honestly, went and saw it last weekend. Fantastic movie.
We haven't watched it yet. We're bad gays.
Beardos don't judge. We haven't.
I
seen
fucking
it yet.
loved it. I had low expectations because movies these days just make me go, whatever. Nothing really impresses me anymore. I loved it. I walked out impressed with it.
So you're not impressed by films these days, but sublimation, that's where it's at.
I gobbled that shit up.
You can't gobble it up. It's sublimation. It's going from a solid to a gas. You got to go.
Oh, so I'm just breathing it in. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, basically.
You gobble it up like a snapping turtle.
That's Barbie coming at me.
My wee wee.
My wee. Think about my mental health after that experience.
Anyhow.
Well, speaking of phones, you guys want to talk about social media and its effects?
I mean, yeah, I suppose for our generation, that's pretty.
I mean, there's both sides to the coin once again. So it's fear of not being connected with others or not being in the know or whatever. But then if you're on it too long, you see people putting up their flashy vacation pictures or these milestones that they're celebrating. And then you can really get down in the dumps if you go for too long. But you're also seeing a very polished what people want to post, not their entire lives. So you have to kind of take that into account too.
Anxiety.
Right.
I will say social media is interesting because for me, it's easy to know when I've gotten too much of it because I almost feel exhausted that I've just been on it a lot. And then I put it down. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I hate my phone right now. And so then I go through phases where I don't want to touch it.
I find myself not accidentally, but just mindlessly opening up Facebook is the worst one. Not that I'm active on there a lot, but more so I just go and I scroll because it's easy to scroll through and see things. And of course, Facebook now is just a shit ton of ads and a bunch of people screaming about something. Of course, this week it's been Jason Aldean. And then finding out like I 100% will decry, like, dude, what you're saying is essentially lynching. Like, even if you didn't intend it that way, even if you didn't intend racism, like what you said harkens back to a time in our nation where we had sundown towns. Like, it's, yeah. Anyways, but
We still do.
Those are very real things in America. Might remind you, as we often say on this podcast, racism in America is alive and well. Not
It's
casual racism, active racism. Well, I mean, technically both, but it's still really fucking bad.
To bring this around to a little bit more of a fun side, what are
Thank
your
you.
current ads on Facebook that are just inundating your page?
So my Facebook seems to be confused as to whether I need PrEP or whether I need HIV treatment. And so that I think is kind of funny because it gives me PrEP and then it gives me like that, whatever that injection is for HIV that's supposed to last like 30 or 60 days. And one of the PrEP ads is the PrEP that I'm on. And I'm just like, okay, well, I already do that. So
Do not want to see because I literally already buy this.
I take it every day. And then what is the other ones that are popping up currently that are just bothering me? Shit, I can't remember. Those are the two that stick out to me because I remember noticing it today. That I was like I felt like my algorithm was slightly off. It was like, do you need to prevent HIV or do you need to treat HIV? Like,
We'll just cover both.
Are you at? Let's just do both.
So mine, has been for a few weeks now stuck in men's sexy underwear.
Ooh, I love those. Those are fun.
Yeah, like you keep scrolling and it's just always like, look at this underwear. And I'm laughing because I'm like, first of all, I haven't shopped for anything of that sort for quite a long time. And then I know they base it around people you're around too. So I finally like one day asked my boyfriend, I was like, hey, are you doing like a lot of underwear shopping and all that stuff? And he's like, I haven't done that for a while. And I'm like, where the fuck are these ads coming from?
It was from
So
the
I'm wondering-
times that you spent with us. It's like I told you earlier,
just
I
stuck
get
there.
promotions for like Nasty Pig in my email often. I get that. My Facebook has been getting Bearskin. That's the other underwear brand that
Yeah.
I've been seeing pop
Saw
up a lot. Yeah, so maybe it's
I know
me.
I know that's logical, but I also want to blame it on maybe somebody in my office has a secret side. And so like
that'd be
somebody that
fun.
sits close to me, he's like just buying plethora of sexy men's underwear.
Sexy underwear is great, Jay. You should buy sexy underwear. Makes
I
you feel
have
good.
some, but I feel too fat for it right now still.
I'm fat. Shit. I still wear it and like it.
I don't know. I guess I don't know. I don't wear it often enough. I'll have to strut it around and be like, what do you think?
Well,
To Blanche and Merlin, and they'll be like, meow.
I have some that ties in the front and it looks all sexy.
I've got a few of those too.
Yeah.
I just scrolled through my Facebook a little bit to see what I'm getting, and I get a lot of ads for that. I'm probably going to butcher the name, but I think it's Timu.
Oh, Timu or
Yeah,
whatever.
it
That's been
is.
annoying.
All
Yeah.
those crazy discount prices that make you want to click on it, but I don't.
I'm not sure if
looks
that's
like a
even
scam.
real because literally everything I've seen is like, we've partnered with them and you get this if you sign up. And I'm like, what?
And
Yep,
then I've got another
clickbait.
one. I got a bunch for pair eyewear because, one, I wear them a bunch, and I just ordered new frames last week, so I'm getting bombarded with more of those ads. And then I randomly got ads for Chick-fil-A.
Ew.
Oh.
And I haven't bought Chick-fil-A food in a couple years, at least.
Wow.
At least before the pandemic. And I refuse to buy their food anymore. It's weird.
Well, I don't know, Joe. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
I just don't want Chick-fil-A ads because I hate Chick-fil-A
Right.
more than they hate me.
I don't think that's true. I don't think you're going overseas and trying to get Chick-fil-A managers murdered. I also get ads for the place where I work. So that's interesting. It's weird because like we make industrial like shrink wrap basically.
I do keep checking mine to see if my ads ever do change, but it just constantly stays underwear right now. It's probably because I haven't done any online shopping, so they're just like, well,
I had one day at work. I had forgotten my water bottle, and I had to go use a cup and like fill it up with the water fountain. I opened my Facebook 10 minutes later when I went to break, and the first ad I came across was an Amazon ad for a wall-mounted water fountain.
I have noticed mine's some baby stuff now, but that is because I literally ordered baby stuff the other day for a baby shower.
Hypothetically,
Just get a regular size shower.
Knowing-
It's way more effective.
knowing how that targeted marketing works, your phone isn't listening to you directly or watching
No.
you because that would require an intense amount of data usage. Yeah. So what it does do obviously is tracks your activity across different apps and websites and also tracks the activity of those around you and suggests things based off of people around you.
But how did it know I was using the water fountain? And I might need a water
Other
fountain
people
in
were
my
right
house.
by the water fountain.
It was a popular water fountain that day.
It was so popular.
More popular than my water fountain.
I don't think that's true.
I'll never forget when one of my friends announced she was pregnant, and then like it was still early on, but she was obviously shopping for baby stuff, and out of the blue, my phone just started showing up with tons of baby ads, and I was like, "Hey, Prego, could you lay off for a minute? I want different ads."
I saw a TikTok where it was like me trying to manifest pizza ads for my girlfriend so she'll let us order pizza, and it's this guy like leaning with the camera and he's like, pizza, delivery, Pizza Hut coupon, Ads for Pizza Hut.
You know, he would be a lot better off if he would just play on his phone and Google that stuff.
Google like pizza delivery, DoorDash, pizza.
Yeah.
That's how you get them.
I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna start Googling Dora the Explorer shit when I'm around people I don't like.
So we talked.
Dora the Explorer men's underwear.
Yo, I hate that.
Say backpack. Say big sack.
You know, backpack,
Big
backpack.
sack, big sack.
Not for you.
One sack, one nut.
Yeah, those are. I'm
One.
I'm speaking.
Imagine.
I'm speaking my ambitions of saying big sack, but unfortunately, one nut.
I mean, the sack can be big. It's just not very full. While we're here, and before we go too deep into where we're going currently, I think we would be remiss to talk about mental health on an episode about mental health without talking about a few of the things that we deal with as far as symptoms that we've experienced, and then also how we cope.
Ooh. Yeah.
Does that sound fair to you guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So for me, I knew coming into later in life that, of course, my family has a history of depression and anxiety, and my mom has undiagnosed borderline personality disorder, but that's neither here nor there. So I know to watch for those things, and when I started going into depression and anxiety and seeing like where that was leading for myself, I noticed that I'd get so anxious, I'd have panic attacks and have to walk around the office building that I worked in. I realized like I would be shutting down on weekends. I would be isolating myself, just doing nothing because that was all that I really could do. And of course, suicidal thoughts were towards the end of it, where I knew I really had to like get some sort of help. But in retrospect, I recognize all these little things from my work life that I should have known. Like I was managing the Owasso location, and on lunch several days for like a month, I'd find myself in my office on my lunch with the lights out, laying on my floor of my office, staring at the ceiling, thinking, what the fuck am I doing? And I mean, red flag, right? That is not a totally normal thing. So those are a few of the things that led to me finally getting professional help, seeing a psychiatrist and therapist and doing the whole thing.
Well, and think about how many people don't go that route. And
yeah. Well, that's why I want to talk
happens.
about it, because we're talking about mental health. And I think that I want to be very transparent about my journey with mental health and also how it's affected people around me. My mom's had a very long and complex journey with mental health and depression and anxiety and bipolar personality disorder. I lost a friend to depression. And it's just one of those things. It's impacted my life in so many different ways that I think it's important for us to be transparent about it, so that we've had a lot of fun and we can still have a lot of fun. There's still more episode left, but we also need to address the fact that it's a very serious issue and that it can sneak up on you in ways that you won't expect it to, because of the culture that our society pushes on people. This always like, go, go, go. You need to just work through it, push through it. And we do that until it's too late.
I also think I wanted this episode to have a little bit of a purpose to normalize even more.
Yeah.
Mental health. Normalize that everyone goes through something. Sometimes, some people, it's bad enough that you need medication for it. And that is completely fine. Others get by just fine without it. Awesome. I'm really happy for you.
Everyone's trauma is different.
Everyone's trauma is different. Everybody lives in a separate reality that is it's not like anyone else's.
And don't minimalize other people's trauma based off of your own experiences or other people's experiences, because that is not how mental health works. You can't just be like, oh, well, this other person had it so much worse than you. And then all of a sudden, years and years of my brain's wiring undoes itself because you told me, oh, somebody had it worse. That is not how that works.
And that's exactly kind of how it worked for me, basically, is I grew up in a family of anti-mental health. It's a crock. You can do things yourself. If you have to get on medication, you're weak, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though later on in my 20s, probably, I came to realization that I'm like, wait a minute, this is not a crock of shit. This is real. And I support anyone who goes through mental health issues or gets on medication. And then I started recognizing my own ways. And then I finally was like, wait a minute, I think I actually have a problem that needs checked out. And I couldn't be more thankful that I took care of it.
Well, and in regards to medication, it's becoming more mainstream nowadays to have conversations about it, and it's less taboo to actually take medications. Those medications are created because there's a need for them. It's not just some wackadoodle pill that you're popping and then you're suddenly going to feel better. Your trained professionals are helping you to find things that will hopefully work for you, and you should feel better when you take them. It's not anything to be ashamed of.
God, no.
As a matter of fact, ADHD medication is having a wild shortage right now because it's increased so dramatically.
Well, and that's not surprising given the amount of things that require our attention on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I mean, I read the news today.
I unfortunately did too. But, these things are completely normal and acceptable, and your mental health is every bit as real as your physical health because it is physical health. Your brain,
your brain is an organ and a muscle. And if you don't exercise that muscle, it will get worse and atrophy, and it will be detrimental to you.
Well, and it will learn and adjust to how your life is over time. And so there are times that when your brain is making those adjustments, it can break just like anything else in your body. My brain doesn't make as much serotonin as it should. And so now I take SSRIs.
Yep.
And that's perfectly okay because my brain just doesn't do that for me. And so now I have to have help making that happen. Maybe someday I won't have to have that help making that happen. But until then, I do. And thank God we live in a time that it's available to me.
Yeah. Oh my
The advances
gosh.
in the medical field, thankfully, have been leaps and bounds more than they have been in the past. Like, if you have a headache, you take a headache pill. If you have a mental issue, you take a pill to help you resolve that mental issue. It's the same thing.
Think of it this way. My great grandma was, I think, paranoid schizophrenic. And whenever they discovered it, the doctor was like, all right, well, she needs to go into a sanitarium.
Lobotomy.
What
and
the fuck?
My great grandpa was like, no, she's too good of a person. We'll just take care of her. And they did as long as they could. And they finally had to take her somewhere when she started talking to herself about killing the family. And they're like, all right, now's time. And so at that time, what you did was you escorted them to the police so they could put them in jail and hold them until they could be picked up.
That is so wild to me. And I guess today it's sort of the same way. It's not really that far off because when we have people who are having these mental health issues, if you had to call 911 or you had to get help of some sort, it's the police that show up most of the time. And they're not trained for that. They're not ready for that.
They have a pretty small salary. So we're asking them to be every member of society's profession on a call.
Yeah. And they shouldn't be doing that. Like, it should never be part of the scope of their work.
No.
Unless they are unless they're properly trained and educated on it and are paid commensurate with that expectation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we still experience that to this day. It shows in situations where police gun down people who are experiencing mental health breakdowns and they don't know what to do.
They don't know how to de-escalate it.
Yeah.
Arresting them because they don't know, they can't understand them. So they're like, well, this is the next step. And I'm like, oh.
Yep. And in a way, they're doing exactly what their job expectation is, but it's just, the whole system is broken.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, with the knowledge we have now, we we can always make change, but a change
can do
that
better.
massive requires effort and
time.
We're apparently scared of that.
It's really hard to do. It's so hard to affect change on that scale quickly because people just don't expect that it could happen.
Because there's a bunch of older people out there saying, we don't need that. And those are the ones that control everything.
Oh my God. Thank you. My mental health didn't need that today.
You guys just want all this change, and we're not going to pass a law for that because it costs money.
They're the ones who turn out the most to vote. So to help overturn that, you need to go out and vote.
Please, for
as
the love
well.
of God, go vote, register, do
Please.
everything.
Even if you don't
Adjust
think it will
our tax
matter, even
dollars.
if you don't think your number will count, even if you don't think they're even going to count your vote correctly, just go vote.
I'd much rather my tax dollars go to universal health care than to bombing children in Syria. Please vote.
Guys, I know in the state of Oklahoma that's what happens. So I assume if we have this, every state has this. And you go to your state's local voting site and you can look up your information and you can see upcoming ballots. You can order your early voting ballots. You can do all that stuff. So if you look at it early enough, you can actually
Learn.
research things about people. You can take a little bit of effort into the state questions, and that effort pays off.
Yes, it fucking does.
There's nothing better for me than walking into an election and just being like, boom, 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 boom.
Yep. I love doing that, and especially if I've had time to research judges and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm educated.
Because you can see their voting history. You can see some of their
Yep.
judgments. You can just check up news on them. I mean,
Yep.
worth it.
Ooh.
And do not, for the love of God, vote based off of commercials you see on TV.
Oh, God, no.
That's for the undecided voter that literally doesn't know life.
And don't vote straight party because unless you've already done your research and you know straight party is exactly what you're going to do anyways.
Ew, straight.
Oh, why isn't there a gay party on there?
There is. It's what is that? Log Cabin Republicans.
Blue.
Real quick before we go to commercial, let's talk a little bit about coping mechanisms
Okay.
that we
I
have.
cry.
Yeah, crying's a good one.
Jay also takes another medication that is currently in a glass beside him on his desk. Would you like to show everyone, Jay?
I take wine sometimes.
Some coping mechanisms are healthier than others, but sometimes allow yourself an unhealthy coping mechanism. That's just life.
See, my problem is food's also my coping mechanism.
Everything in moderation.
Right.
Yes.
Except coffee. You can have as much coffee as you want. There's no rules about coffee.
I've
Drink
even
it.
You
cut
can have
back
my
on
coffee.
that.
I don't like it.
Ugh, stupid bitch.
No, a lot of my coping mechanisms are so my primary coping mechanisms. We'll go through that. I like to get outside and into nature, so I like to go hiking. It's been sucky that it's been so fucking hot recently because I just don't want to do it, and I can tell it's impacting my attitude throughout the week. I like to drive. That's another thing that makes me feel better. And of course, I love video games. I also have been having friends over on Saturdays to play Magic, which has been super helpful because that solves the issue of isolation while simultaneously giving me some sort of stimulation, I get the social interaction, but in a nerdy way. So it's still very comfortable for me.
I will also agree.
Yeah. Those are some of my primary coping mechanisms.
Xbox is one of my primary coping mechanisms that are pretty high up there now, which it wasn't for a long time, but I forget how much I just enjoy kind of escaping into that.
Mm-hmm.
And then besides that, it's definitely hanging out with people, socializing some. I love laughing. So the more people I can hang out with and laugh, I'm down.
No wonder you keep us around.
We don't make him laugh.
I make him laugh.
Oh, that's true. I don't make him laugh.
I make him laugh whenever he kills me in GTA Online.
But But the deaths, they're just so good sometimes.
They are.
Well, Joe is the only one of the three of us with no mental health diagnosis.
Right. I have no diagnosis, but baby, there's stuff. But,
Tough.
I said no
yeah.
diagnosis. That doesn't mean that you don't have, like, let me not discount any of your experiences for sure.
My biggest coping mechanism, it's probably well known at this point, is alcohol. But I have been getting a lot better recently, actively cutting back. And actually, from July 10th until now, I have only had alcohol 4 of those days. So I'm doing a lot better. I've been getting more into reading books that I've been putting off. I have been spending more time on the Xbox with Jay as well. And just doing anything but drinking. And it's been helping me kind of reframe the time of day. Like, I'll look down and it's 7 p.m. and I think, I don't need to make a drink because by the time I get drunk, it's going to be almost 9 and then it's almost going to be time for bed. So there's no point. And that's kind of how I've been getting better with it. And then also a book I've been reading that I'll probably bring up during something to check out has really been helping me out too.
Nice.
Good.
You know, that's one thing I need to check with this new ADHD med is how I can read a book, because that was one of my biggest complaints, was how it'll take me 2 or 3 times to get through a full page. I'd get distracted so easily. So I kind of want to read a book now on meds to see how well I do.
I think Blanche needs some meds. She's so distracted.
Yeah, I know.
Blanche is, she's on a roll. She's been
Look at her.
She's been snuggly lately.
She says, I need attention. She said, give me your attention deficit hyperactivity disorder in my face. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Speaking of Blanche, last night I was laying in bed and I was just getting ready for bed. And all of a sudden I heard glass shatter.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh, no. And so I got up and walked around. And for some reason, like, I kept asking, I'm going to say shmishmeksha so it doesn't set her off. But so I kept asking her to turn on my lights. And for some reason, they were being delayed. So that added this eerie feeling, because then walking around, I couldn't find signs of broken glass anywhere. And so then I kind of went into this like brief mode of, I don't think this is right, but what if somebody's trying to break in and like my window just broke or something somewhere? So then I kind of started getting a little antsy, which I'd actually just got out of the shower and I was nude walking around my house. So that would have sucked if I got murdered.
I was going to
anyway.
say, like, I'm just picturing you like getting into your full-on nightgown with sleeping cap and slippers and like the old-timey
The candle.
candlestick.
Yeah. Nope. I was walking around with my cell phone because, you know, I'm modern. I'm a modern girl. And
Shut
then
the
I
fuck
was
up.
nude. And finally, my lights just came on. It's like they were on this super long delay. Maybe the internet was slow or something. Anyways, finally
Office
found out.
surprise! Oh, no.
No.
Is that one testicle? And then
Yeah, talk about low-hanging fruit.
Oh, shut up.
you've been having problems with hesitation in urine? No. Okay. I can't tell how, but I know. Anyways, I look over and she ended up like knocking over a kerosene lantern, which broke the chimney on top.
Okay.
And I was like, Blanche, you made
You
this sound
bitch.
real dramatic. But it was
You
pretty
look over
cute.
and she's
'cause
just...
when I came down the hallway, it was so cute. I could see her standing in the dark doorway of the spare bedroom. And she had this like face, like kind of squatted down. And she had these big eyes like, oh shit.
An apologetic cat? How weird.
She's the nice one. My other cat, Merlin, would just look at me and be like, yeah, I fucking broke it.
Merles.
Aw.
And then he would probably like break something else right in front of me, like want me to do it again.
Blanche is more like a dog anyways. She loves belly rubs.
She is. She fucking loves belly rubs, which strangest thing to me. Merlin will shred your arm if you do it.
Anyways, do you guys think it's time for a commercial?
I think it's time.
Yeah, I think it's time for a commercial.
And now, for a word from our sponsor, Dignity XL.
Do you feel that you are so great and everyone else is so lame, but Karen's your name? Do you work for the government Has your intellect just come and went? Do you straight up just act rude and mean like Marjorie Green? Have you completely gone insane with rhetoric for radical fame? Do you believe the My Pillow guy or push the big lie? Try New Dignity XL. With the combo of therapy and self-reflection, you can become a much better person. Try New Dignity XL. Max Train. It'll make the world a better place today so people can live life their own way. Oh, don't be a bitch. Get dignity. Because you have none. Dignity XL, the self-made medication that racist bigots should try. Side effects could include happiness and no indictments for political crimes. That's rad!
Hey guys, make sure you follow and subscribe to our podcast so you can receive a notification every Sunday when a new episode drops.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I prefer to have my dignity extra large.
You know, it's interesting. I know they sponsored us in season 1. I'm pretty sure it was episode 5 when it was just dignity. So it's nice that they're getting bigger and better.
I chase it down with a nice side of rainbow sherbet.
Rainbow sherbet with your ball peen hammer.
I know a secret about that rainbow sherbet. There's no lime in there because I ate it all.
Yeah, bitch.
You literally just dug out the lime.
I fucking love lime. I love the lime
What
sherbet.
garbage are you?
Lime garbage. Oh, it's so tasty.
Lime. You know, I do love citrus. Anything, though.
I do too. It's lime. So there's lime, orange, and strawberry in there, and that's the order I like to eat it in. Lime's my favorite.
But I
orange is
go
my second,
for the new
strawberry's my
Dignity
least.
XL lime citrus version.
Oh.
Ooh, do they have it in liquid? Like cough syrup?
It's only liquid, and you have to drink it out of a
Oh.
wine glass.
It's a suppository.
I'll take it in wine form, please. Because I always have a lot of dignity when I'm drinking anything out of a wine glass.
Joe, you have got sherbet in your beard. You see it? Oh,
I'm glad you could clean your beard so quickly.
yeah, listener, he just shoved his beard in his mouth.
But anyways,
So, listener, we highly recommend go see your psychiatrist and see if they recommend Dignity XL.
well, I know I'm running down to the pharmacy as we speak, but what have the beardos submitted this week?
We did get some user content, so that's nice. And I'll start with Derek.
Hi,
Hi,
Derek.
Derek.
Derek emailed and said, I want you to know, this is fun. He said, hey, beardos, or should I say Barrios, which can be found in the cereal aisle in the B&S market.
Ooh.
I got your milk right here, baby.
I feel like I need to have him write for us for stuff. I enjoyed the Fear episode and thought I'd send some updates. First of all, Syndrome totally killed people.
Yes, thank you.
Michael Myers did wear a cape, which is one of the reasons he was more successful. By the way, hopefully this is a good segue to the FMK I sent you last week. Well, last year, but who's keeping score? Because remember, I told you that Derek sent one that he'd sent in September of last year, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, yeah, which we are playing today, so that'll be fun. Anyways, secondly, I wanted to provide additional context to my fear of villains.
Oh, please do.
The anxiety that movies with violent, ruthless villains that have no regard for innocent bystanders because it is a loose translation to school mall shooters and the win at all cost folk.
Ooh.
There is also the possibility that less stable folks will want to copy the villains in these shows. Finally, I am in total...
It makes me think about Homelander on The Boys.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely.
Finally, I am in total agreement with the fear and anxiety caused by large crowds. Story time. In 2019, Indianapolis Pride managed to book Lizzo as their headliner.
What?
Apparently, She was booked before she
Wow.
hit it big.
Oh, okay.
The Pride
Like, right
Festival was
before.
way crowded. Yeah, right before. The Pride Festival was way crowded because she was already making a name for herself by that time. Memories of the Pulse shooting, coupled with no clear exits for thousands of people, made me leave before she sung her first note.
I get it.
Understandable.
Totally get it.
Yep.
Keep up the good work, and I look forward to the merch.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Derek. And we totally sympathize with that feeling because I probably would have done the same thing.
Yep.
It's interesting that he brought up Pride because I definitely understand anxiety in a Pride parade
Yeah.
festival situation because
Especially now.
it's already attracting all kinds of wackadoodles that are,
Wasn't there a group of far right activists who got arrested because they were planning on rioting at a Pride recently? And I'm trying to remember the name. So that definitely happened. I can't remember where or what they were called, but essentially, like, they all got arrested before it happened because the police got tipped off. But at the same time,
the right police got tipped off.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
what I always worry about.
And then we had another email that I believe I got yesterday, actually, before recording yesterday, from George and Anthony.
Hi, George and Anthony.
Hi, guys.
Hey, boys.
And they said, hi. So this week's episode I completely identify with. I have irrational fears that don't even make sense to me, but I'm still terrified of them. Like big roaches. Ugh.
Ugh.
I'm tired. I'm terrified.
Especially when
of
they're in
them.
your macaroni.
Large bugs in general. Oh my God. We talked about that at work this week, and people are like, huh? Also large bugs in general, but especially roaches. I do agree with Joe as far as the log trucks or any other truck hauling things that could fall off and pierce through my windshield.
Thank you.
It's legit. I've seen it, not log trucks, but just random things piercing. So
A generation traumatized by Final Destination 2.
what a
I bet you've seen things piercing.
Here's a phobia that I'm surprised wasn't in the game. It is the fear of long words. It is, and I'm gonna fucking murder this.
I didn't include this because it's so hard to pronounce.
It's a long word itself.
Hippopotamonstrosiquipedalophobia.
Yep.
Yep, the name is the fear of long words is the second longest word in the English language.
Yep.
What's the longest?
Like I can pronounce it. Let me look.
Jay's ego.
What's longest word in English language? It is pneumonotramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. Haha!
No, I hate that.
A word that refers to lung disease contracted from the inhalation of very fine silica particles,
Specifically from a volcano.
Why don't they just say volcano lungs?
It is the same as silicosis. So they just should say silicosis.
So a volcano-osis.
Yeah. Or silicosis XL.
Yeah.
With your new ball peen hammer.
Anywho, I'll talk to you later. Don't lose my email and keep doing what y'all are doing.
Oh, also, boys, the house is beautiful and we love it.
I do love the house. Also, I'm glad you showed the bathroom. We always want to see a bathroom. I know that you had a little question about whether or not people will want to see the bathroom.
Right.
Show us your bathroom.
What? Show us everything.
Show us all of it. I love the little game loft, too. It's super cute.
Yeah, the refrigerator, still pretty great. But the game loft was out of this world. Like, it looked so cozy up there.
Also, Anthony, I don't know if you saw it, but they posted a little TikTok video the other day talking about their top 5 podcasts.
I did, and I actually
podcasts they listened to.
Very uncharacteristic for me. I commented on it because one of the podcasts they mentioned, aside from ours, thank you, obviously, is a podcast called That's Spooky, which is a Canadian podcast hosted by a gay couple that I love, and they tell true stories that are just kind of like creepy and weird.
I thought that was very sweet. I was happy to reshare it. It was exciting.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Do we have something to check out this week?
I did. Did I leave it in the kitchen?
I think you did.
Hold on. So, I mentioned earlier that one of my coping mechanisms is alcohol, but I did come across a book that Anthony picked up a while ago, and it is called Tired of Thinking About Drinking.
Not yet.
And it is written by a woman named Belle Robertson, and it is her 100-day sober challenge. Now, I'm not doing the challenge myself because I think that if I try to give up alcohol altogether, I will fail. So I'm not going to quit cold turkey because I've tried it a couple times before and it just doesn't work for me. But this book has some great kind of step-by-step guides, things you can do, some blogs you can check out if you are trying to become sober. I just knew from the first sentence that this book was going to be great for me because it says, "This is what I thought. There isn't enough to drink. I should go to the liquor store now." And that thought has gone through my head so many times when I look at our vodka supply, for example, and I think that's not enough for me to get drunk tonight. I should go now to the liquor store so I don't have to go later. And then rinse and repeat. And I've been trying to break that cycle for myself. This book has helped me a little bit. So if you're looking for something to kind of give you like a kind of jump start or kind of make you kind of look within to yourself a little bit and see why you're doing some of the things that you're doing, it was a good read for me. I'm only about a third of the way through it, and I've really enjoyed it so far, and I'm going to keep on reading it instead of getting drunk tonight.
I will say, I picked it up because, same thing where you get into this mentality of thinking about it throughout the day. And I think that's what kind of flagged it for me was like having thoughts about drinking during the day as if I'm planning not like an event with friends that I know I'm going to go to a bar or something, but just like, oh, okay, well, do I have enough alcohol? Do I need to stop? Blah, blah, blah. And just that thought alone was enough for me to be like, I feel like that's not something that I should be doing actively. I shouldn't be considering it at like throughout the day and thinking about it. And so that was an interesting take on it. Because even if you're not planning on getting completely sober, if you just want to drink less, or if maybe you find yourself having, obtrusive thoughts about alcohol, that's a great book.
I made myself cut back a while back some because I bought 4 boxes from Target because they often do a buy 4, get 10% or 20% off or something like that. And I'm like, well, I'm obviously going to have this eventually, so this is worth it. And I flew through it really fast. I'm like, that is not a good sign.
Yeah.
So I made myself cut back, and like tonight, I literally am having a glass.
I'm drinking more than that tonight, but
The money aspect has also come into play with it as well. When I sat down and thought, like, this is how much we're spending. This is way too much to be spending on this, that I'm just going to pour it down my throat like poison, forget all about it, and do it the next day. It's just been making me really step back and think, don't, I guess would be just the easiest way to put it. So it's been helping me, and maybe it can help somebody else too.
yeah.
Nice. Good job, Joe.
Yes.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
It's the sound of my cheeks clapping.
Hell yeah.
For those of you
Badass.
watching on YouTube, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, God. YouTube doesn't allow that.
Beards and Sundries After Hours.
Onlyfans.com/beards and sundries. That's not real. Don't go to it.
It's just literally us posting these videos, and they're like, God damn it.
Subscribe for $100,000 a month. Oh, even if we get one person.
We actually just redo the episode shirtless. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Anyways, do you guys think it's time for a game?
I do.
Let's bring the mood back up, girlies. It's game time.
Game time!
So we're doing 2 games because they're pretty quick.
Okay.
What do you call the first one?
Derek's year-old fuck, marry, kill. Almost year-old fuck, marry, kill.
It's aged, just like a fine wine or some cheddar.
So, all right. I'm pulling mine up really quick so I can be ready.
Pulling what up? Your pants?
Yep.
Fucking slut.
I hate you so much. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
As ready as I'll ever be for this.
First, We have Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
Gaston?
Gaston, is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah. Gaston? What the fuck?
And his friend Bryce and his friend Tanner.
Oh my god.
Gaston!
I never watched that movie as a kid, so I guess I didn't know the name well. Well, now we know.
Oh my god.
No.
Moving on. And Scar from The Lion King.
Okay.
And Jafar from Aladdin. I was waiting for you to go, Jafar? No, I'm kidding.
Oh god no. You said that one right.
Scare? The lion?
Scare the lion? Okay, what's yours, Jay? You've had time to think about this.
So I decided that this one's a little tough for me because I'm not sure how I feel about any of them, but I guess I'll fuck Jafar.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do it. There's some power there. I don't know. It'll feel good to overpower him.
Ugh, shut up.
And then I'll marry Gaston because I don't know how to pronounce his name. And that is prime to a marriage. And then I'm going to kill Scar.
Okay.
Didn't Scar kill someone else or
Mufasa?
something?
Scar killed
Yeah,
Mufasa.
that's right.
How do
So
you
it's
know
my
less
turn.
about Disney movies than I do?
I don't know. I didn't really get into a lot of these.
Aaron, I'm so sorry. about
Jesus
Jay's
Christ.
Lack
Well,
of knowledge.
Yeah, at least when Aaron comes to town, you could learn something about Aladdin.
You're going to get schooled by Iago, buddy.
If Robin Williams isn't there, no, I'm kidding.
Quick, Jay, how do you pronounce the parrot's name in Aladdin?
Oh, God. What was his name?
Wow.
Is it Iago? No.
Okay. Yes.
It is.
Oh,
I was
is
like,
it?
as portrayed by friend of the podcast, Aaron Choi.
All of a sudden, I was like, so
I
that's
was
what
like,
popped in my
Aaron
head.
is literally
He's gonna be
screaming
real
right now.
mad.
That's what literally popped in my head. I was like, wait, I think Aaron's that character. And I was
Yes,
like,
he
oh
is.
no, I know that one.
So my fuck, marry, kill, I'm going to fuck Gaston because I just feel like nobody fucks like Gaston.
Really, really quickly and fast and disappointing.
Well, you know, you never know. It's a
You're
crapshoot,
like, ow, ow,
literally.
ow, 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 ow. And then 10 seconds it's done.
And I'm crying.
Well, then if it's bad, it's bad. And then I guess I'll marry Jafar because I feel like I would have money of some sort, and then he would be stuck in a lamp, and like that would be a really great marriage of convenience. You know what I mean? Like, my husband's disappeared. Oh no!
Mysterious.
And now his wealth is mine, and also his parrot probably. And then I'm gonna kill Scar. I mean, who's not gonna kill Scar? What a piece of shit.
I can't wait until Joe's like, oh, I was going to fuck him.
I mean, he might be. You never know.
Lionstein. You ain't lying.
Sober Joe's making some questionable choices.
Joe, I didn't know you were into pussy.
God damn it, Jay. Stop being funnier than me. All right. So I will probably go a similar route to Anthony. I'm going to fuck Gaston because every last inch of him's covered in hair. And you know how many times I paused the VHS tape right when he rips his shirt open as a child? Anyway.
It's great.
So yeah. Then I'm going to marry Jafar also so I can have some riches, you know. Get
Money,
some of
power,
the easy life
yeah.
for a while. Yeah, money and power. You know, the American dream.
Exactly.
And then I'm going to kill Scar because he killed Mufasa. I can't let him go for that. And he's not sexy.
And his one-liners suck.
And also, as a bonus here, I looked up their mental illnesses. And Gaston and Jafar both have narcissistic personality disorder.
Sounds right.
And
Yes.
Scar has antisocial personality disorder.
I laugh because it seems like a lot of attractive people portrayed in cartoons, movies, and all, that is something they often suffer, is narcissism.
You think Jafar is attractive?
Me?
Yeah, that's what you just said.
No.
He's not ugly.
Are you
No.
sure?
Face down.
He looks
Have
like,
you looked at Jafar?
he looks
Wait.
like Prince.
The cartoon?
Yeah,
Or
he's gross.
yeah, no, it looks terrible to me.
Yeah, but like Prince is only attractive because of his personality.
Yeah,
true.
so, but that's it. I don't want to marry him. I don't want to be stuck with the idea of being around that. That's why I chose to just fuck him real quick and then leave him.
Well, yeah, but he gets
Fuck him and rob him and leave him.
he gets trapped in that lamp at the end of the movie, and then like now my life is free. I'm done with it.
I don't want to look at that ugly lamp.
Let's move on.
It doesn't fit my decor.
Thank you, Derek, for that fuck, marry, kill. Sorry it's taken us almost a year to get to it.
You know, we saved the best for a year later. Let's move on to the BuzzFeed.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's move on to the next game, Jay, please.
So I decided that we would do a mental health game, and so I decided for fun we'd look up a BuzzFeed article, and it says, this quiz will reveal whether you're as fucked up as you think you are. And
So what do you want to call this one?
let's call this one, Are You As Fucked Up As You Think You Are? A while ago, we asked therapists about the most common worries and insecurities their patients deal with, and there were so many that I wanted to see just how universal they were, so I whipped up this poll. And so I decided we'll all three do it, and as I'm going through it, I'll read it so people can know what we're asking or what we're
Perfect.
answering.
How do you want to do
And-
this?
He's explaining it
I
right
figured-
now, Joe.
Okay.
As I'm reading through it, I'm going to answer it. You can answer in the background if you want, and then we can all three go around and say what our results are.
Yes.
So the first question is, do you overthink the tiniest shit even when you know it's irrational? Something little and probably irrelevant. Oh, that's part of the meme. Because there's a meme included with every question.
Oh my God.
The choices are all the time, sometimes, and nah, not really.
I put sometimes.
Going with sometimes as well.
I've cut down to sometimes,
Yeah,
so I'm doing great.
That's where I'm at too.
Hey, 33% say sometimes.
Yeah.
62% say all the time. I didn't know they did that. Do you feel like an actual adult? So the answers are yeah, I feel like I'm totally faking it. Sometimes I feel a little out of my depth. God, I can't read. Nah, I've mostly got this. Or I'm actually not an adult.
Yeah, I feel like I'm totally faking it.
Absolutely.
I'm going with sometimes I feel a little out of my depth. Thanks, medication.
So the faking it is 39% and depth is 28%.
Yeah.
Question 3. Are you worried that no one finds you attractive? Yeah, someone finding me attractive is inconceivable to me. I have good days and bad days, or I'm not really worried about that.
I have good days and bad days.
I have good days
Good
and
days
bad
and
days.
bad days for sure.
Yep.
Weirdly enough, that's 42%. Oh, no, that's 43%.
Yeah.
And then the inconceivable one's 42%.
Which, I mean, I feel like that's right. Body
Yeah.
dysphoria
Yeah.
is weird.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
it
strange.
is.
Number 4, do you typically feel like everyone is watching you and judging your decisions? Answers, all the time, sometimes, or nah, not really.
All the time.
All the time for sure.
I used to when I was still in a leadership role at work, so I'm gonna go down to sometimes. Once
All the time
once I
is
stepped down to no
52%.
longer having that many more responsibilities at work, and now I just ate and skate. I just go to work, do my job, and come home. Now it's just sometimes.
So all the time is 52% and sometimes is 34%.
Ooh.
Number 5, do you ever feel like your friends don't really like you? The answers are, ugh, yes. I don't think they hate me, but they could probably take me or leave me. No, my friends definitely like me.
I'm at the point in my life where I think I've finally surrounded myself with people that are healthy for me, so I'm gonna go with no, my friends definitely like me.
I did the same thing.
Same thing here.
Because
Yeah.
I don't put myself around people that I doubt.
No, not anymore.
I can't imagine being around somebody that I didn't know for sure if they liked me or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. That just,
Which, ironically, that's the lowest percentage because that's 21%.
I mean,
when-
5-6 years ago, sure, but now I'm in a much better place with my friendship
I would
groups.
even say that. I feel like even then, I just assumed my friends like me.
Yeah. 10 years ago, different. I was a lot different.
That is different. Yes.
I was like, I think people just stick around me to be nice and blah, 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 blah. I pushed my way in. I got, anyways. 6. Do you worry that if people knew the real you, they wouldn't like you? Answers are, yeah, I definitely feel like I'm hiding a part of myself. Sometimes that worry crosses my mind. I feel like people do know the real me. Or no, not really. I'm going to say no, not really, because...
That's what I went with, too.
I'm going with, I feel like people do know the real me.
I'm going to go with no, not really.
I went with
which
no,
is
not really.
12%.
Yeah.
And Joe, yours was 18%. Yeah, again, that's one of those things where I'm an open book and you're just going to know everything about me.
Yeah.
I just think it's one of those things where, like, I don't really care at this point. I used to, but I'm at a point now where I'm like, I'm going to be myself as much as I can because, we're all.
It's clearly evidenced by the fact that we're here right now doing this.
Oh, right. Yeah. We have a podcast. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we put everything on public display.
Yeah, we really do.
Number 7. Have you ever had an intrusive, violent, bizarre, or gross thought that freaked you out?
Yep.
Definitely. What the fuck brain?
100%.
Nope, never.
1000%.
I hate that that's like the two options because, like, have you ever had an intrusive thought? Who hasn't had an intrusive thought? Who is this 9% of people that says no?
Yeah.
Liars.
I'm more worried about them.
Yeah. Those are serial killers.
Right.
91% answered yep. Number 8. Do you feel like other people are better than you at forming connections and meaningful relationships? Answers are, yeah, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Sometimes, or no, not really.
No, not really.
And it would have been a while back that I would have said sometimes, or yeah, I have no idea. But nowadays, no, not really.
I went with yeah, because a lot of the connections that I have are established and have been that way for a while. And I struggle with being... I have this weird thing where, like, I can only be either super serious or just not talk to you at all. And I don't like anything between those things.
See, and I feel... Let's see. Do you feel like other people are better than you at forming connections and meaningful relationships? So I am viewing the meaningful relationships heavily. I'm at a stage now where if I feel like I need to add a meaningful relationship, I'm excellent at making that connection. But if I'm not needing that or wanting that, I don't make the connection. So I'm not actively trying to make connections.
Okay.
So
I guess that makes more
that's
sense
how I'm looking
in
at
the
it.
context of that. Because we started having another person join our Magic weekends, and that's been different for me because that's just a new person coming into my house for the first time and I didn't know what to expect, and it's been completely fine.
And I'm weary of meeting new people because I'm always like, I know that my very forward nature can be offensive if you don't understand my sarcasm and things like that.
Yeah.
Or just my sense of humor in general. So I know at first I'm hesitant, but once I feel comfortable with you, it's like, boom.
Yeah. And we're still friends after I targeted him in Magic the Gathering. And I mean, if a friendship can survive that, it can survive anything.
Exactly.
For me, I just start out just being myself. And I kind of just think that, if the person that I'm meeting for the first time wants to be a friend or stick around for the conversation, then cool. And if not, then I'll just let them walk away.
Bye.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care.
That's smart.
Anthony, 68% said, no, 24% said sometimes. Is that what you said?
No, I went with I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
Oh, okay. So that's 68%. And then Joe, 8% said, no, not really. So look at us.
Yeah.
I also feel like maybe people that were taking this are a little younger than us.
That's also
for
probably
sure.
true.
We're probably the oldest people that have ever taken
Hey,
this quiz.
shut the fuck up.
My answers would have been different a while ago.
Number 9. Do you feel like other people are generally happier than you? Answers are, oh, for sure. I'm probably somewhere in the middle, or no, I actually think I'm pretty happy compared to most.
I'm probably somewhere in the middle.
I went with no. I'm actually think I'm pretty happy compared to most.
I also chose I think I'm happy compared to most for the fact that I don't feel like I have to be somebody else around anybody.
Exactly. And I
feel very happy with who I am. Of course, things could always be better, but I start to think in the grand scheme that what we see from a lot of people is an image they develop of who we are or who they want us to think they are. And I generally feel like I'm potentially happier than a lot of people.
I think the more I learn about society from a bird's eye view and getting out of the thick of it, a lot of people are a lot more unhappy than you think they are.
There is a lot of fake happy couples out there that you watch on Facebook post a lot of fake posts.
And there's plenty of people who are basing their happiness around things that are very subjective in their lives, things that
materialistic
could just go wrong at any second, and not trying to find it in places that are foundational and pillars of who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So I chose no. I think I'm actually pretty happy compared to most.
No is 9%, and somewhere in the middle is 36%.
It's somewhere in the middle.
It's somewhere in the middle. Number 10, do you worry that when you're briefly left alone at a party, other people look at you and think you're a loser with no friends? Okay, that one I still sometimes do.
No.
I chose no, of course not.
No, of course not.
Because I'm rarely alone at a party.
If I'm alone at a party, it's by choice.
Because, like, a lot of times I go to parties where I know people and then everyone's, like, knows everybody and I'm coming in not knowing people. And so I'm just like...
That's when you go to the kitchen.
Socially prepared for this. And so sometimes I'm like, people are like, who is this guy?
I'm just glad to not be talking to somebody. That's what I think when I'm in that situation.
Unless there's a dog, then I'm happy.
Oh, yeah.
So here's your strategy. You could do two things. You find the pet, or you find the kitchen, because you either found a fun little animal you can pet and play with, or you found refreshments, and you can busy yourself with that.
You bet your ass. If there's a dog and it wants to hang around me, that's all I'm doing the rest of the night, probably.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Get out of my head was 76%, and no was 24%. Do you suffer from imposter syndrome at work or in school? Answers are yes, and I'm afraid people are going to find out any minute. Occasionally, but it's not overwhelming. And nope.
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 So, prior to my ADHD medication, I would have teetered between occasionally and yes. And now I am a solid nope. I'm walking around work and I'm just like rocking shit out. I'm like, I don't care what people think.
Yep.
I had a moment of that yesterday where I was like, should I send this email? Who am I to send this email to, like, answer a question that somebody had about something that my coworker was like, well, just let our boss answer it. And I was like, okay, but if he doesn't answer it, I'm going to do it because the guy's expecting an answer and I can answer it. Like, I am completely capable of answering this. And our boss never answered it. So I was like, okay, it's because he didn't address a specific person. He asked our work group about it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give him an answer. And if our boss doesn't like it,
I finally just am like, I'm tired of waiting for answers. And I was like, I'm just going to go forward with doing this stuff and ask for forgiveness later.
That's exactly the method I've been using. And I don't ever have to because 99.9% of the time, I'm right.
And I'm learning that everything just gets held back because nobody jumps forward.
Yep.
And so I'm just like, let's go.
Yep.
Nope was 22%.
One of the benefits I've been experiencing at work, especially since I stepped down from a leadership role, is that I still have knowledge of things because I still have, the knowledge from being in a leadership role. So whenever a problem seems to arise at work, I'm always like, well, did you do this? Well, did you check this? Have you checked over here? Oh, that item number is this. So like, I still know all the stuff that I used to know, so I can help out. And so it's kind of nice to be like that person to answer questions a lot. It's easy for me. So it makes me feel a lot better. And I actually just got Employee of the Month for June. So that's been very nice too.
Wow.
And yet, even though he knows where everything is at work, he has no idea where anything is in the house, and he won't look. He'll ask me where something is at before he ever looks.
Oh.
So number 12 is, do you worry that you have a weird walk compared to other people? And the answers are, yeah, I'm hyper aware of how I walk. I think some people are definitely more graceful than me, but it's not a huge problem. Nope. And this isn't applicable to me.
Nope.
I said, nope.
I said, yeah, I'm hyper aware of how I walk because I do that walk where I bounce up on my toes, and I know that I do it, and I hate it because I don't think it looks good when other people do it. So then I think in my head, fuck, you're doing that walk again. Stop it. And then I have to like actively heel toe walk for a while to get over it.
I just imagine Joe under his breath, heel toe, heel toe.
Years and years of marching band, and I still bounce on my toes for some reason.
Anthony, do you know where the Cossequin is?
Oh my God.
It's on the kitchen counter, Joe.
I didn't ask you where. You asked me where it was, actually.
You asked. Well, I had to ask you because you moved it from the kitchen counter to you moved it on top of the dryer. How does that make sense?
It doesn't, but you didn't look for it. You asked me where it was.
Because I looked for it a couple of places where I thought it might be, and I was like, where the fuck are the dog drugs? And they're on top of the dryer, folks. The dog drugs are on top of the dryer. That's where
Next
they go.
to where the dog food
apparently.
is.
Did they run them through perm press?
The dog food's by the pantry right now. Anyways.
26% said they're hyper aware, and 32% said nope. Number 13. Do you worry everyone is hanging out without you a lot? Answers all the time. It happens. Or no, not really.
I know they're hanging
give a
out without
shit.
me around, but no, not really.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't want to go out if they're not asking.
I put it happens, but only in like the capacity of like, yeah, it happens. People hang out without me all the time, and I don't care.
Yeah, some of my friends live in the exact same neighborhood. Of course they hang out without me. I don't worry about it.
Yeah. Normally it's because I've said no like for 2 years straight, and they stopped
They're like,
inviting
"Maybe
me.
40% said it happens, and no, not really got 25%. Number 14, we're almost done. Do you keep your thoughts and feelings to yourself because you have a hard time believing anyone would care? And answers are, damn, yes. I mean, sometimes, or no, not really.
I put sometimes.
But sometimes.
So I've actually put no, not really. I've really changed how I handle that because I feel like I'm really good at relaying my thoughts and feelings when necessary.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the mentality I had around it was I don't need to always voice what I'm thinking and feeling because sometimes it's not important. Or like feelings are very real, but they're also extremely linked to subconscious thoughts. And so I have to work out whether or not
personal traits.
Yeah, I have to work out whether or not I should be like, your feelings are always valid. Don't think I shouldn't be feeling this because that's not really in your control. But I always do work backwards with the thought triangle and like try to like say, okay, why am I feeling this? What's the underlying thought that's driving this feeling? Is it real?
And I'm one of those people who, like, at work, for example, there'll be times that I'm like, I feel like the way this is being described to me is meant to devalue my intelligence or something like that. And I'll be like, it may not have meant to be said that way, but it's coming off that way. And I need you to know that. And so I've been trying to be very forward in that. So I can be like, you know, here's how I'm feeling. You don't have to accept it or agree with it, but you need to understand that the way you are describing it could potentially be doing this to others.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. I'm still sticking with my answer, though.
No, you're fine. Sometimes was 35%, and no, not really was 9%. And the last question, do you just feel really alone more than often not? And the answer is yeah, sad face. Sometimes, but it's manageable. Nah, very rarely if ever. Or, to be honest, I feel slightly less alone after seeing the results of this poll.
I wish there were an answer that said, I wish I could be alone more. Please leave me alone at work.
I put nah, not really, like very rarely.
Yeah, that's what I put as well.
Yeah, I said very rarely, which is 10%.
Yeah.
Wow, 50% said yeah, sad face.
Oh,
So after all of this, I think back to like early to mid 20s, Joe. This would have been a different quiz entirely.
Oh, for sure. But what's funny is I do not relate a lot to the younger generation because I was definitely in the low percentage a lot.
I'll also say that if you're in your late 20s right now and you're listening to this, you're still a child. You're still just a little baby.
it's so
And
weird.
I'm still trying to figure things out, and I'm 35.
It's so weird to think that because, like, in my late 20s, I didn't realize that I was going to be an entirely different human being a decade later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember at late 20s thinking, wow, I'm really grown up. I'm almost 30. And now I'm like, oh, you wee little dum-dum.
Yep.
And that wasn't even that long ago. I'm 33, but so much shit has happened to me in the past 4 years that it's just like, okay, no.
I just want to go back to like 21-year-old Joe and be like, bitch, you're so skinny. Stop thinking you're fat.
Oh my
He
God.
was skinny.
Yeah, same.
21-year-old Anthony was a skeleton.
21-year-old Jay compared to now was definitely thin, but like 18-year-old Jay was thin.
Hell, 27, 28-year-old Anthony, super thin.
I've recently looked at some college photos and I was like, oh my God, I thought I was fat?
I was like, I can't believe I weigh 180 pounds. And I'm like, I have a whole other human being worth of weight on my body now.
I remember whenever I shot up to 135, I shot up 20 pounds pretty quick, and I was just like, oh, God.
135?
135.
I think that's what my left leg weighs.
Seriously.
Yeah, now I'm just like, that's like below my BMI. That's
If I weighed
my
135, people would be like, we need to get some food in you, stat. Put them on fluids.
I think the last time I weighed 135 was like maybe first grade. In my husky jeans from Kmart.
God.
If you know, you know.
Well, Beardos, our session time is up, and the music's coming back on. But if you still need to offload your daddy issues, leave us a voicemail
Please.
at 405-999-2242.
And Beardos, just like an empty bottle of Wellbutrin, it's time for us to go.
It can't be empty.
If you want to help us out, go and subscribe to our podcast so you can get reminders every Sunday when we release a new episode. We also post frequent updates on our social media for any additional sundries that we add to the market.
And don't forget to rate us 5 stars. Those reviews are what get us found by more listeners like you. Just each one of you doing us the small favor of telling a friend to listen to the podcast would double our growth, and we would appreciate it if you do that one small thing.
Don't forget, we have that new website, beardsandsundries.com, that you can check out, or you can follow us on our Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter. Don't make us self-conscious because, you know, mental health makes us nervous. And so leave comments. Please make suggestions, whatever you want to do. We would love to hear from you. Email us also at beardsandsundries@gmail.com because I'm less likely to lose those now because I search them all the time.
God.
Derek, Dustin / Danny.
Danny.
So, Beardos, once you've left us a voicemail, make sure to...
Love yourself and go to therapy.
Because we already love you and also go to therapy. Bye.
Bye. Leave a voicemail.
Oh my gosh, I'm tired.